topic. Games that we were late to.
Late to the party.
Late to the party to, that we really enjoyed.
And not even fashionably late, just like...
Very late. Like, some of these will be a bit shameful, I'm assuming. But that's okay, because we're adults. and we make our own decisions, and we live with our shame. We live with our shame.
So what's your game? Or
all right,
games?
So
what do you got?
I had another one in mind until you made this reference a few minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about Reddit, Red Dead Redemption. I was 2 years late to that game. I am not the biggest fan of the Western aesthetic, but I gave it a shot. I remember renting it from GameFly, and within an hour, I was absolutely in love. The soundtrack, just the general ambience, the amount of freedom. I mean, Rockstar does that properly. I mean, they're the masters of the open world, genre, if you will. And no, I absolutely love it. The story was deep enough and intriguing enough to keep me interested, while not being too heavy for something that that has based on a Western or is a Western. And this is coming from someone who loves lore, like I am the lore master. So Red Dead, it's an amazing game. I am very much excited for this new one coming out. I'm not going to pre-order it, but that's a whole nother thing altogether. Yeah, and I was that's one of mine. So go ahead and give me.
My turn?
Yes.
It's a big one.
All right.
Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Mass Effect.
Oh, so how late are we talking about?
Okay, I played the very first Mass Effect. I want to say it was 2 years ago. So long after Mass Effects 2 and 3 were made and played through and loved and hated and everything. And around the time, or I guess that whole time is Mass Effect 4 predictions and looking forward to, and hopefully they do, and all that good stuff. Yeah, man, that's when I got into Mass Effect 1 and played the first one. And as expected, was unbelievably
amazing, life changing.
Yeah. It's like crazy.
I called it it before the thought that a new Star Wars would ever come out. My thought was, this is what Star Wars would be if they made it now.
Yeah.
And I mean, that still holds true. It's just Star Wars has become its own thing now, obviously.
For sure. And this was also around the time that I was really getting into, for the first time ever, I guess this counts too, late to the game, was Star Trek, Next Generation. I mean, Star Trek as a universe I was new to.
Right.
But I started with the original series, watched a couple seasons of that, and then jumped to Next Gen.
Yeah.
And TNG, obviously stellar. See what I did there?
Not doing it.
Okay. Well,
I'm doing it.
It was good.
No, TNG is amazing.
So naturally, that progression into
Picard is God
I'm
for me.
For sure. And I'm kind of already in that mindset. So jumping into Mass Effect, I'm like, you know what? Everybody's talking about it. I may as well. And just blown away. As anybody should be playing that game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you could make the argument that they had issues as they developed with the later games, but still an excellent experience. Still, the lore is amazing. No, I absolutely loved it. When it comes to Trek, I didn't get into Trek until late in my teens. Simply because I was into other stuff, and I finally made that logical conclusion late in my teens, and I absolutely loved it. I actually started with TNG, then watched TOS.
What a rebel.
Indeed. Excuse me. And then started watching TOS. Actually, no, I went from TNG to Voyager, then to TOS, then Deep Space Nine, and then so on and so forth. But yeah, I understand that. I was trying to think. I was late. I was fashionably late to Mass Effect 1.
Yeah, I'm late to everything. So growing up, we didn't have tons of money, so I never got the games when they came out. I generally got the games as soon as the second generation came out. So like here's another instance of late to the party. Halo 2, I had, but we didn't have Xbox Gold. So I couldn't play online. So I played so much Halo 2. I was really pretty good at it. And then finally, by the time we got a gold membership and we're like, hey, listen, Christmas time rolls around, gold membership, we're all set, my brothers and I. I think that was around the time like OST or 3 was coming out. So we got online just in time for everybody to be migrating off to the next, big thing. So it was a bit of a letdown, but I guess better late than never.
No. I mean, with games like that, and the games that we're really talking about today, I mean, they're so excellent that you could play them now. You could play them now and have really, really good gaming experiences with them. You could play Mass Effect now and it'd still be good. Mind you, some of the things might a little bit be a bit dated, just kind of mechanic-wise, but for the most part, it'd be excellent.
Oh, fun fact. Hey, I like how we're tying this all together. Did you know that the voice... Oh, and now I'm going to screw up the name, so big fans are going to kill me.
Yeah.
But the actress in Next Generation...
Which one?
She plays... Who does she play? Oh, no. I loved her. What was her name?
The Doctor?
No.
Marina Sirtis? That's
No.
That's Diana Troy. Or Deanna Troy.
Yes.
Okay, so that's Marina Sirtis.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm saying that last name correctly, but I think I am.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah.
She is the voice of one of the bosses in Mass Effect. She's blue. She did the voice for that. That was her.
I was not aware of that.
Super cool. Yeah, I found that out. I'm like, man, she sounds kind of familiar. I wonder who did. Looked it up, and sure enough, Mass Effect. It was her. It's a fun fact.
I have absolutely... I'm trying to think... I'm sitting here. Oh, no, I'm not sitting here. I'm walking here with you, and I'm trying to figure out who in the hell you're talking about.
I'm going to look it up.
I know, I mean, not in Star Trek wise. I'm talking about who his boss is. And
no,
I
she's like the blue.
Recall for the death of me. Who you're talking about?
You have the choice, I believe, to either kill her or not kill her.
What a shock in a BioWare game.
I know. You probably didn't expect that.
News, people.
Yeah.
You're able to select what to do.
Yeah.
Let me guess. One choice was maybe a Paragon choice.
Benezia. Matriarch Benezia. She's the one. I got a picture for you right now. Yeah, she's totally Deanna Troy. You see her? See pictures?
Yes, I know.
Yes.
I know she is. Okay.
Yes, that's her.
That was
pretty tough fight too.
Like, yeah, I recall that.
Decently.
Yeah.
I did that one several times before I could take her down. Because you had to. All I remember was like crouching in the corner and shooting at, which I guess is most of my Mass Effect experience. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. Oh man, being late to the party, but it's not always a bad thing. In some cases, it's too late. I think with a lot of MMOs, they rely so heavily on social interaction and grouping up to go do stuff. But I think a lot of games, you start to kind of miss out significantly. Whereas a single player is a good single player, and yeah, the graphics might become outdated, and yeah, there's the newest Cry engine, which you're not getting, but...
No. But so, to your specific example, to what you're saying, what's a specific example? Like, what do you...
Of a game that's good or a game that's... Like, I would say... It's no surprise to you by this point that I'm a huge Guild Wars fan. I think Guild Wars 1, despite being an MMO and despite having all of those MMO mechanics and functionality, the way that they set it up is that you can build out, so even in like 8-man missions, you can bring along 7 henchmen called heroes. You can customize their armor, their skills, their everything. Basically everything that you can customize on your character, you can customize with the 7 other. So granted, you won't have 7 other people that you're relying on, or your healer goes AFK. You don't have all those good experiences. But you can still, if you're excited about the story and the gameplay and everything like that, you really just want to play the game for the game, and you're okay to not have that social aspect. Guild Wars 1 is still a great game, even though it's now been out for a decade.
Right.
So, whereas the flip side is like...
So I looked this up.
Yeah.
just kind of bouncing off of that.
Yeah.
So Guild Wars has been out for a decade, and I was going through the net a while back, or after our conversation a few days ago, and EverQuest 2 came out the same year
Did it?
as Warcraft, as WoW.
As well.
Yeah, the very same year. So there you go. At least I think that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the case. So.
Do you have any games you'd recommend that maybe came out a while ago but are still worth it? Still okay to be late to these parties?
I mean, everything that we've talked about, I would recommend.
Mass Effect, Red Dead.
I mean, Red Dead. Yeah, I mean, if you want to go more, if you haven't picked up, this goes to anybody listening. If you haven't picked up Shovel Knight.
Shovel Knight.
Yes.
I've never played it.
Well, you are a shameful man.
Am I letting you down right now?
We're letting me down. It is everything good about a platformer, but a classic SNES platformer. It is. The music is good. The gameplay is solid.
PC?
The jokes, yes, it's off PC. Every modern console out. They gave out a free expansion last year. The game is amazing. Go buy it now. Those guys at I forget their name. The name of the developer, I forget their name.
It's called Shovel Knight.
Oh God, why
I feel
can't
like
I
I've
think
heard
of
it.
their
I'm
name?
sure I've seen it on Steam before.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
It's like a
yes.
$5 game or is it like a $60 game?
No, it's like a $15 game. It's an amazing game. It's an absolutely amazing
We'll
game.
see
I love
about
it
that.
so much.
We'll see about that. Might
So
have to try
if
it
you
out.
If you haven't picked that up, go do that.
Original StarCraft, man.
Yeah, but that's.
But they shut down the BattleNet servers.
Listen, StarCraft doesn't count because it's StarCraft. That's like,
But I feel like if you're somebody who didn't play the original StarCraft, you jumped into it with StarCraft 2, I would say you owe it to yourself to try out the old StarCraft. You can get the battle chest for like what,
no,
20 bucks, 30 bucks?
All right. Look. At that point, this is what we're talking about. At that point, if we're talking StarCraft, and we're talking about simply creating a list of like essentials. Like if you get into games, you're late in general.
Yes.
Like if you've gotten into
Baldur's
video games
Gate.
to general, we can do like a list, maybe on one of our future talks, of like these are the 10, 20 games that you really, if you're getting into games now, like later in life, than what the average person has. These are the games you need to play.
Oh, let's do that. Next talk.
All right, so next talk, let's do that.
Next talk.